West Coast Avengers. West Coast Avengers.
There's only one mantra that you all need to know. That's that one over there. See Todd, bye Todd.
Jingle bells, my friends. Oh, I was born in the Christmas time. You adapted to it. Good evening, friends and maybe enemies. It's West Coast Wednesday, Christmas, Hanukkah, holiday time edition. Sponsored to you unofficially by Swoon. 0 calories, 0 sugar. Lemonade taste. There we go. Show's over. Hi, everybody. I am happy to be hosting a Christmas Eve hangout for us misfits that don't really want to do anything but talk about comics and maybe sample some of Walter White's goods and, talk about other things like socio-political things happening in the Uganda regions. I'm just kidding. I don't know anything about Uganda, okay? Let's say hello to some friends and read some things on the screen, doing less work than I should be doing, right? I do have the festivities and my annual X-Men Christmas sweater. Sergio, Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night. Bye! No, I'm just kidding. Stand up, Dan. Happy Merry y'all. Happy Hanukkah. Merry Christmas time, the G-Blaster. Your icon makes me think of like some dude from a 90s high school movie, like Can't Hardly Wait or something. And like he's in one scene where he's just getting really high and he's like, I don't know where Preston is, man. Merry Crimbus, Merry Chimbus, Samuel McClurg. And it's Dave from Down Under, even though he's not Australian, still only 35 cents, and I can let the cat out of the bag. This Sunday, or Monday in Australia time, but this Sunday in Pacific time, I'm going to be a guest on his end of year holiday spectacular. I was there last year, and it was a pleasure to hang out on screen with him and other friends, Bronze and Modern Gods, and other assorted comic book thugs. Joshua, yes, you know what? I was cooking dinner. I was making some chicken to make a salad, and I realized if I wanted to get salmonella, I could be on time. Or if I wanted to cook the chicken all the way through, I would be 10 minutes late. So I chose the 10 minutes late, fingers crossed, that I'm not getting salmonella by the end of the night, pooping blood or whatever that does to you. Tyler, the collector, Tyler, my love, Mr. Pope Wrench. Brunson's in the house. Brunson, the collector? No, Brunson, the artist. Happy Honda Days. That's right. See Dave, watch Dave. I'm Santa Claus. Good evening, Kem. You are not blind to Todd. Todd rules everything. Did you dye your beard specifically for the show? No, I just aged. That's all. It's just age. Dye. Hair dye. Age dye. Tom's in the house. Ho, ho, holy crap. Here we are. Dr. Jacob, happy holidays. Oh, yes, everybody gets a Hulk 181 tonight from me. Check your Christmas tree, your Hanukkah bush, your fireplace. There's one there somewhere, I promise. Marco's in the house. Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah. Much love, Marco. And big thanks to Marco. You see this Spawn art right here? Yeah, that was a gift from Marco. So thank you so much. Rami's in the house. Good evening. Happy. Hope New York's treating you well. New York? New Jersey? New York. Give me a bagel. Actually, I had a bagel today. I went to Howdy Bagel in Tacoma. My favorite spot. Jim, You're just getting back to Seattle time zone and catching some sleep. I am at least here physically. That's all I got. Yep, sleep is coming intermittently. Let's just say that. Tom, thank you. Merry Christmas to you. Happy Hanukkah to you. And yes. Hey, Britton Sucky's in the house. Or Suki's. Britton's got a new book right here. I actually saw him today. It's called Demon Country X, and he gifted me a copy. If you are local to Tacoma, you can find copies at Stargazer Comics, or you can hit up Britton on the interwebs. Tyler's recap. Hope I got some DWJ I can buy. Well, the first sale back, I don't know how much American stuff I'll be doing, but I do have some, yeah, there will be some DWJ in the next regular sale. But that right there, The Art of Danny Warren Johnson, the new book, is not for sale. I just got my Kickstarter yesterday in the mail. Hey, Polly fucking Walnuts. Happy Merry. Happy Merry. Kem, I keep cats in a bag. Sorry. I love Salmon Ella Ella. That's my favorite Rihanna song. Hey, no problem, Micah. Not a holiday person, except Halloween. That's the only holiday I celebrate, the only holiday I recognize. Everything else, I'm just happy to, I'm happy to celebrate with people, for people, and host a little place to be tonight. Didn't Hanukkah start like 4 or 5 nights ago? I thought it already started. I don't pay attention to this stuff anymore. Now batting for the Yankees. Now batting for the Yankees. Third baseman, Sal Manella. Lisa and Roddy. Hello. I aged a lot in Japan. No, I Asianed in Japan. I think you meant Asianed. I definitely aged getting back to the States. That's where it is. I wish you could get a even distribution of gray in my beard like yours. I mean, the light makes it look a little bit more gray than it is, but it's a little bit darker on this side. But yeah, it's starting to become even, whatever. I hope everybody's doing well and nestling in or being cozy or doing whatever it is that you do, or not celebrating or watching movies. I started watching Pluribus yesterday? No, 2 days ago. And I'm not going to spoil it. I'm only 2 episodes in, but I will say this. I said this to my friend Scott, who we grew up together, and we both kind of watched Breaking Bad together at the same time and like geeked out over it. And Pluribus being a Vince Gilligan show. If you would have given me, and I'm not spoiling, so no spoilers, but if you would have given me 1,000 guesses, just knowing that he's got a new show, Rhea Seehorn's in it, 1,000 guesses, I would never have guessed what it's about. I went in completely blind, and I can't wait to keep watching it. I'm just trying to take my time with it. So anybody else who is watching it, if you're enjoying it, you can, talk about it in the chat that you're enjoying it. Just we keep the spoilers away. The show's pretty new, and because it's on Apple, it's one of those shows that not everybody gets to very quickly. But Vince Gilligan, I mean, unless this show goes really south in the next 8 episodes of the first season, he does not miss. Vince Gilligan, he does not miss. Different Gilligan. Yeah. Have you seen The Pantheon? No. What is it? What is The Pantheon? Is that a show or a movie, or is it a book? But then you wouldn't have asked me if I've seen it. You probably would ask me if I read it. What comics am I? Well, today was New Comic Book Day. And you can see one of the books that I'm absolutely loving right now, which is Skinbreaker. I'm reading it in Treasury form, although I'm buying both because I think the colors are better on the regular issue size, but the artwork looks better on the Treasury, and I like the tactile, newspaper paper they're using. I did get the new Absolute Wonder Woman, but I haven't read it yet, so I've been reading that. Obviously also reading Absolute Batman. On the manga front, hey, Merry Phil Day. I love you, Phil. I hope you're well. Hey, give me a cannoli. I'll get back to the comics thing. Pantheon is animated sci-fi that's on Netflix. No, I haven't seen it, but I got the Netflix. And after I'm done with Pluribus, Stranger Things is coming out weekly, so I'll need something else to fill up my time. And I think I'm getting ready for, what did I want to rewatch? There was something I was like getting ready to rewatch. I was thinking of rewatching Lost, but I think I'll put that on the back burner. Anyway, what else am I reading? So on the manga front, I just picked up the second volume of Die Dark, which I forget his name, and I apologize if you're in the chat. Was it the other Rami? Might have been the other Rami that gave me the first volume of Die Dark when I went to Eddie Pecan, and I read it on my Japan trip. I actually ended up giving it to Sean. So I picked up the second volume of Die Dark. I really enjoyed the first one. Search and Destroy, I got to get that third volume, but that I'm really loving. And that's the final volume of Search and Destroy by the amazing Atsushi Kaneko. And here's one of his art books right there. All right, cool. I'll check it out. What else? Ooh, just realized there were 3 other Home Alone movies. We'll put on Home Alone 2. Tom, you're like 30 years too late. Plus Home Alone 2 is the one that our shit fuck president is in. What else am I reading? I'll get to that in a second, Tyler. Trying to think what else I'm reading. I got to catch up on Transformers. Oh, Cul-de-sac. I caught up on Cul-de-sac, which has one more issue left to go. And let me tell you, if you're sleeping on Cul-de-sac, I know it's a bad idea book and some people stay away from that. John Wayshak is doing some of the best sequential art that we've ever seen in comics. And I read the 4th and 5th issue because when I got back from Japan, I had a stack waiting for me to read. So I needed to catch up on that. I'm reading Endeavor, the distillery book by Stephanie Phillips. I need to pick up the next She-Hulk World War or Planet She-Hulk because I enjoyed the first issue. And Phillips is going to be doing Daredevil next year, and I already reached out for an interview, and hopefully that'll probably happen getting closer to Daredevil's release. Well, I'm reading a bunch of other stuff that I can't think of at the moment. Oh, and Battle Beast. Can't not read anything from the Invincible universe. Thoughts on Doomsday trailer? It's not a trailer. It's just a teaser. Come on. If you think that Steve Rogers is going to be in the movie for too long, whatever. He's going to be a catalyst for something and will not stick around in that movie. We all know that Captain America now. Yeah, we know who Captain America is. It's Anthony. Oh my God, why can't I? Anyway. I'm blanking right now. Mackie, yeah, okay. Did I see the Rob Liefeld? I watched the episode. I don't mind that they put him on there. It's Rob Liefeld. I go back and forth with Rob. There's a lot I like about him, and I think there's a lot of him that he does stuff, for shock value. I mean, I think of him as these days. He's kind of like Howard Stern in the 90s. Some shit he says, I'm just like, come on, why are you saying that? Like, what's the point? And then other stuff, I'm like, yeah, I enjoy his enthusiasm around comics. And he has his rightful place, especially in comics history. I mean, he is the person that started the movement for Image. And we're better off that he did. I think there's some things that he talks about with having zero data or like really like a limited amount of data that he broadly, generalizes. And I think anybody with a podcast or anybody with a channel or a megaphone, I think we're all guilty of that at some point. Like I've said some stuff that sounds like I'm making an absolute finite, a statement that is set in stone, which is just based on my opinion. And I think some of that stuff that he says, especially when he talks about the current state of things, the one thing I'll say about the Ink Pole podcast, that specific podcast, I wanted to, like at one point, I think I said to the screen, I said, Rob, we get it. You don't like Marvel. Move on. Move on. I went to my LCS to get my books today. I put Creepshow 4 back because it features, yeah, and he was on a book earlier this year that originally I was going to pick up until I found out he was on the art. And yeah, I hope that guy's never at a con that I'm at. Aloha Mele, I can't say it, Norman. I can say it, but it won't sound right. Aloha Mele Kalikima, Dave. Aloha, Norman. I assume that's, you're saying Merry Christmas to me? Baby cat. No, he's holding Baby Doom. Or maybe he is. Thank you, Sam Wilson. I appreciate it, Tyler. I blanked on Anthony Mackie's character's name. On One Night, One Time, Rob asked who moves the needle in comics. Dude, that was you that asked. I remember you might have posted about that. Like it was a year ago or whatever, and now he talks about Dan Mora. Yeah, I know. That's the kind of stuff. He just gets like, I don't know, he just says stuff sometimes that pisses me off. But at the same time, like, he also says stuff that, the whole Ed Piskor post, Ed's passing, Ed's death, that episode that he put on Robservations was amazing. Sort of like watching a band play and they say a lot of crazy things on stage. Right. Or once in a while they say something that you're just like, that's weird banter. I mean, at least he's not Perry Farrelling all over the place. That whole thing was wild. And Perry Farrell's finally apologizing for it. It's like, come on, dude. You should have done that a bunch of months ago. But so yeah, yeah, and those, look, you can't be mad at Sean and Eric and those guys for having Rob on. Like I'll if the opportunity happens and I am able to have Rob on, I'll host him, and I'm just gonna steer away from certain things, or at least if he starts going off on an anti-Marvel rant, I'll be like, come on, dude. The thing that Hold on, let me get into this. Danny, hi, brother. Can't stay for the hangs, unfortunately. Got to watch Black Christmas, tradition and understandable. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to all of you. Cheers. Danny, I appreciate you, man. And to you and yours. Any plans on going to the other Asian countries? I thought about there's the Hong Kong one that's coming up this year, and that's the new one. Singapore, if they were to do Singapore on an opposite weekend of Tokyo Comic Con, like maybe the weekend after, I might go. But South Korea seems like a country that I would enjoy. I actually was talking to a coffee shop owner from South Korea when I was in Osaka, and we talked about South Korea a little bit. So no plans, but at a moment's notice, a trip could happen, or a trip within a trip. But I do like the idea of visiting Comic-Cons in other countries. It gives me like that kind of thing to do, and then travel around and check stuff out. But yeah, what was I going to say? Marvel. The thing, I think you've said that to me, Tyler, and I know some other friends that have told me they enjoyed visiting, but nobody as much as you have, like you really love it. So yeah, I mean, after this year, I might have enough to mile myself somewhere really nice. But yeah, here's the thing, and I would say this to Sean or Mateo or Eric or anybody's face about this. This isn't something weird, but I do find it kind of off-putting when comics creators are bashing the movies. And I'm like, these are two different worlds. Movies and comics, they may make a lot of comics, movies out of comics, but I love movies on an equal plane as I love comics. Like the amazing, like Amazing Spider-Man 2, you know, the Alfred Molina Doc Ock, you know, possibly one of the greatest superhero movies of all time. Uh, like to me, that's as good of a story as anything that's ever been put in a Spider-Man comic, if not maybe even better. Although the Spider-Man video game, the most recent one that came out, Spider-Man 2, where you play both Miles and Peter, I think that's the best Spider-Man story ever put to anything. Anything. It's got all of the things that you need. It's got they managed to fit a couple of villains in and not make it feel bloated. They have a great emotional story. Like that is storytelling at its best. Is that that game? Wait, sir. Oh, let me go back. I'm going in order. Sorry. I'm watching you do three things: editing my podcast, inking my graphic novel, and celebrating Christmas. Thanks for the company. No problem. I'm glad to hear it and keep up the hard work. That's awesome. I edited, actually, speaking of editing, I'm trying something this weekend on the channel, on this channel. I'm doing like a style video, I guess a vibe video. Let's call it a vibe video. It's me at Mandarake and Nakano Broadway. There's not going to be any talking. There's not going to be any, you know, there's a haul at the end, but I'm trying to make like a really cool video that might hit with people that just want to see what Mandarake looks like in Nakano Broadway. And I finished the first pass at it today, and I think it's one of the best videos I've ever done. And if you got to see the video of Jim Mafood and Dave Crossland at Sakaido in Tokyo, that's on Jim Mafood's channel, with the exception of a couple of people who said my camera work was garbage, and I'm like, I almost commented back like, oh, well, Steven Spielberg was busy, shut the fuck up. But I think it's one of the best videos I ever shot and edited, and the video that I have for this weekend on the channel, Mandarake, I think that's up there as the best video I've ever done. But I'm biased because I like editing, and I like shooting, and I like doing video. So reminding of separating the art from the artist, but I never liked Rob's art, and that's fine. You know, I like Rob's enthusiasm, and I always liked his art, his energy, his energy on the page. I think it's almost unparalleled. Like him and Jim Lee have two separate, amazing energy, the way that their art comes through. I know you say you're not an artist, but could we see some of your drawings? There might be one over here. Hold on. No. Oh, yeah. I don't know. I don't draw because I just don't. But when I do, it's usually when I'm a little high. Yeah, I don't know what that was. I was just high. Do comic book collectors in England consider American priced Marvel books as collectibles? Mike, it's interesting. I think they consider that just regular kind of, yeah, they are collectibles. But when I was there, the last time I was in the UK, which was 2022, I was in Scotland and England. The UK price stuff is actually kind of expensive there too. And the American stuff, like they're almost even. But I think it's more, they just want to collect the books, whereas Americans want to try and get the UK price variance, if that makes sense. But if David's still in here, still only 35 cents, he could probably answer that better. Yeah, exactly. I don't like, it's weird to me when comic creators, it screams of like weird jealousy, and I get it. They're not paying you for these things that you created the way that they're paying the stars of the movie, but it's two separate things. You know, like you never hear, I mean, I don't know, Stephen King probably bitched a lot about the quality of some of the movies that were made from his books, but they're two separate things. I don't know. I just don't know. And yes, the Crow is, I mean, if it's hard for me to make a top 5 off the bat, but I mean, Crow would be up there. Sin City, I think, is the greatest comic book movie ever made. Um, Scott Pilgrim. I mean, most of the comic book movies that I I hold up to be some of the best are indie books. Um, but I mean, if I was going to go with Marvel, I mean, Infinity Wars, that's the best of Marvel. That single movie, it's better than Endgame, especially from somebody who loved reading Infinity Gauntlet. Like I must have read that story, that book 15 times. I don't know. I like Multiverse of Madness too because I'm a Sam Raimi mark. Scott Pilgrim. Oh, there we go. See, I didn't even see that message. I just said it because that's, yeah. In the early 2000s, I ran a booth at a local comic show, and Rob Liefeld sat opposite me. Line wrapped around the place. He was completely nice. You know, and Micah, he is nice. I've met him several times. He's always been nice. I think it's, that's the other thing. It's like when you're ranting on the internet or whatever, you're a different person. I'm glad you liked that video. Yeah, I was really, I loved watching those guys go through Sakaido and two artists just get completely nerdy, and it brings me joy to see, like, there is no part of me that doesn't get excited. No, wait. I get excited when I see people nerding out about what they're into, even if I'm not into it. So I really like that. Yes, I am. Hey, Sanford's in the house. Sanford, I think, there you go. There's your variant cover for the new Doom book that Chip wrote that I picked up today. I was going to get the regular cover, and then I was like, wait, is that Sanford? And then I was like, oh yeah, that's Sanford. I guess I'll pay double the cover price because it's foil, and you know how that works. I really like the style identity that your videos are adopting lately. Well, Tyler, the stuff that was shot in Japan, I didn't shoot that. I didn't edit that. So I can't replicate that. Plus, that shit takes way too long to do those kind of professional videos. But, that's Brandon. That's what he does. That's why that's why Sean, Japan Book Hunters videos all look the way they do and sound. Yeah. I mean, it's just, there's so much energy on Rob's style. And not everything has to be the most amazing art. Like, not everybody can be Sanford Green or Daniel Warren Johnson or Jeff Darrow or David Finch, because those people are already those people. What do you think is better, The Dark Knight or The Batman? Oh, Tyler, it's a tough one, man, because I love Nolan's trilogy for what it is, for what it was when it came out, for how it looks, and how it still holds up. But Pattinson's Batman is the only Batman that feels like the comic, because the opening of that movie, he's narrating it. He is monologue. We are hearing the thought bubbles, the narration. That's Batman to me. Batman is a book of a guy that internalizes everything and talks to himself about it because he's a detective. So I think they're just separately awesome. There's no Batman movie outside of Batman and Robin that I don't have something. Actually, I mean, yeah, Batman and Robin's just bad, and we love it because it's bad, because it's cheesy as fuck. But Burton's Batmans, the first two are classics, and that's a version of Batman. Batman Forever is great, especially because it's just lunatic. Batman the Animated Series, it's its own Mount Rushmore thing. I probably did too. I was ready for that movie. I think I wanted to see that movie, well, A, because I knew who Brandon Lee was, because of Rapid Fire and the one he did with Dolph Lundgren, but also because of the soundtrack. Nine Inch Nails, Rage Against the Machine, Rollins, Helmet. Yeah, my love with Thrill Kill Cult. It's okay, Chris. You can go back and watch it anytime. You can go. King, I think, hated Kubrick's The Shining. Yes, he does. Yeah, that is a legendary thing that he did not like it. The Shining is my favorite Kubrick. Will always be. I mean, I love Clockwork and Full Metal and all that stuff, but What up, Ray? Do I ever, Sergio, I went to film school for a year because I wanted to be a director. Um, the problem is I don't know. I don't know if I do ever direct anything, it's going to be a documentary, and it's going to be a documentary that I won't talk about what it is because I don't want somebody to steal my idea. In DCKO, that should be fun. That should be fun. I enjoyed the second issue of DCKO. I'm not a regular continuity DC guy, but I do love Scott. When Scott Snyder writes superhero books, I tend to really love them. Some of Snyder's stuff that he's done outside of the superhero stuff, I like, and some of it just can't. It didn't stick the landing, like The Wake. That didn't stick the landing for me. But more times than not, he can hit it out of the park. Yeah, Brandon's a good editor. He definitely is. Scott Pilgrim is one of the best movies of all time, and the difference between the books, the movie, and the Netflix show I need to go back and watch the Netflix show. I wasn't into it, honestly, when I first watched the first 2 episodes. I was like, I love the books because just like probably most of you, I was an Edgar Wright fan, because he did the Cornetto trilogy before he did Pilgrim. And so when I heard he was doing this book, Scott Pilgrim, that I had never read, I went out and bought them all, and I loved it. It was irreverent. The humor was so good in it, and the randomness of things that happen in that book really, really hit all the high notes for me. And so when the movie came out, I knew I was going to like it, but I was very surprised at like how they were. Edgar Wright was able to take the 6 books and make a concise 2-hour movie of it and not really lose the feel at all. I loved it. Happy Hooch, what's up? The Batman, by far, it's much more year 1 to me. Yeah, it is. Well, it's year 2, right? Year 2? Year 2. But I get what you're saying. Entertainment purpose, The Dark Knight. What's the best pure Batman story? The Batman. That's a good way to put it. I mean, look, the thing is, the Batman movies in general always bring out, at minimum, one performance that's kind of legendary. The first movie, it's Nicholson as the Joker. He overshadows everybody else in the movie. And then the second one, it's like, well, who overshadows? Is it Michelle Pfeiffer or is it Danny DeVito? It's like 2 amazing performances. Jim Carrey overshadows everything else, even Tommy Lee Jones as the Riddler. And so we go to The Dark Knight and Heath Ledger just steals the entire movie. But then Paul Dano does a really good job of stealing the second half of that movie away from everything else that's happening. So, and that's why I love Batman. I think Batman, I've said this before and I probably haven't said it enough since I've had this channel, but I think Batman is the greatest literary character since Sherlock Holmes. Like, you take a character that you can put in all of these different things and we remember them all and we look back at them and we judge what we like more because there's so much to like. Like, Batman's a great comic book character, but the animated series is arguably the greatest animated series of all time. And then the movies, as we're just talking about. So, and there's so many different versions. There's the Adam West, which is like 60 psychedelic weirdness. And there's just so much to love about Batman. And now we fast forward to the comics these days and you've got Absolute Batman, which is its own thing. It's basically a manga Batman. And you've got Fraction doing the regular Batman. You've got Hayden Sherman doing Dark Patterns. So there's just so much that comes from it. That's great. Where do we stand on Zack Snyder Batman and movies? Look, I like Man of Steel a lot. I'm not a Superman mark, so I didn't really care that Zack Snyder took the story, he kills Zod, all that stuff. I think the Batman vs. Superman director's cut was superior to the theatrical, which isn't saying much, and I think the Justice League Snyder cut superior to the theatrical, which also isn't saying much. I'll say this. if I have a certain kind of itch, and here's the way I'll put it. Here's how I'll put it. If I want a meaty, good thing in a video game, I'll go and play The Last of Us again. If I want to just watch a bunch of boom, bang, smash, I'll play Rivals or I'll play Marvel vs. Capcom. That's what Snyder's movies are. They're the thing that you want to just watch where you don't need to pay attention to anything. It's just boom, 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 blow, 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 you know? So there you go, Snyder Bros. What's my superpower? I'm rich. Penguin is so good, it makes the Batman better. Oh yeah, and Colin Farrell, right. I love Colin Farrell. Crow is still one of the best comic book. Yes. Oh, well, I mean, they couldn't go as far as O'Barr went with some of the stuff that he put in the original, 4 issues. But they got damn close. And the soundtrack makes that movie better. No, that was Lost Highway. Dead Souls, which is a Joy Division cover, is the one on the Crow. Look at this guy in his Casual Combat 2. Casual Combat 2. I hated the Netflix show, but love the movie. Yeah, I gotta give it another try. The Netflix show. Have you ever realized that every moment we remember from Nolan's Dark Knight involves the Joker, not Batman? Well, that's what I'm saying. He really stole the show. And the shame of it is the only thing about the Dark Knight, he could have saved Two-Face, but I also love Dark Knight Rises. I think I'm going to say something that might be a hot take. Ledger's Joker is such a legendary performance, and it's so good. Bane was the better villain. He was ruthless. He was merciless. Ledger's Joker is the best Joker ever done in live action. What are your thoughts on the Watchmen movie compared to the graphic novel? I love the movie, and I love the graphic novel. I think that's Watchmen is in there on that top 5 conversation also. Especially because the performances were so good. Most everybody kind of really embodied those characters. I want the OD slow motion film scenes. I'll watch a Snyder movie. Yeah, exactly. Well, that's why Wonder Woman wasn't that's why Wonder Woman doesn't get talked about as one of the better superhero movies, because if you took the slow motion out, I think you would have had a great movie. And he didn't direct Wonder Woman, but he was exec produced. Like, it was his, right? He didn't direct Wonder Woman. Wasn't it Patty Wonder Woman movie? Second one I don't even include as a fucking movie because it wasn't a movie. It was a joke. Yeah, Patty Jenkins did the first Wonder Woman movie, I think. Yeah. Heinberg wrote it like it was good story and all that, but anyway. Love to see Snyder could adapt The Authority. I think he would kill it. I don't think Zack Snyder is going to make movies too much anymore unless they're with Jared Leto. They can go down together. Regarding Colin Farrell, The Banshees of Inisherin, great movie, and then I'll throw on top of that In Bruges. I think that was to my Bane comment. Phoenix Joker is the best ever. That's my hot take. I mean, I love the Joker movie. The first Joker movie was fantastic. No, I love Bane. You feel in charge? Fight scenes rises though. Well, yeah, there's they could have cut away a little more and done some better shots. But, we weren't there in the editing room. The other thing is when you're, and look, I've never really worked on a film. I've done some couple of days on film sets and stuff, but when you're doing such a giant scene where so many people are involved and you've got to get, how many takes can you really do with 100-something people? I had a friend that was an extra in that scene, and I feel like they thought they got shots that they didn't. I think that's what happened. I have an all red painting, a Batman, like an Adam West Batman painting. I have a commission. I don't think I have anything published. I have a Brayfogle Batman commission. He was like my Batman artist as a kid, and I think he's one of the best. Other than that, like, everything I want would be too expensive. Like, I'd love to get a Tim Sale Batman from, Long Halloween or Haunted Night. I'd love a Frank Miller, but that's never going to happen. I don't have that kind of money. And I'd love to get a Dragotta Absolute Batman. I wouldn't mind a Capullo, but that stuff's so expensive. Oh, the HBO Watchmen series, 10 out of 10. If you've never watched it, shut me off, go watch it. It's the best comic book thing that's ever been done for TV. Gal Gadot can't deliver a line to save her life. Yeah, she's not a good actress. What was rough about the new Crow? O'Barr only gave the movie rights. Was the director wanted the actual? Yeah, I won't. I'll recognize that it exists. I'll never watch it. After I sat through and watched City of Angels whenever that came out when I was like 18 or 17 or something, I'm like, I'm done with The Crow. The Crow is two things. It's the original books, the 4-issue, and the Brandon Lee movie. And that's it. Comic book movie hot take. I just rewatched Sam Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy this week. I will never agree to that. I think Spider-Man 2 is one of the greatest comic book movies. But you are entitled to your own opinion, my friend. That movie was a hot mess. Yes, we're talking about the Watchmen TV show, and yes. I mean, I haven't seen it since I was, was that 80s? Was that 89? Or I feel like that was early 90s, but either way, I haven't seen it since then. Wasn't Red Fox in that? And was Richard Pryor in that too? I can't remember. Yeah, that's not a movie. And Pedro Pascal's hilarious in that movie, but that's not a movie. Biff, zop, bam. Wait. Kapow! Snyder and Leto for Tron Ares 2. Box office poison, baby. Yeah, actually, if you don't follow me on Instagram, if you scroll down, I probably got it 2 years ago, but I did an unboxing. I think I did an unboxing of that when I got that. It's beautiful. I love it. I mean, the Bane fight was awkward because I think, yeah, like I said, I don't know the takes that they did. Yeah, I mean, Nolan, look, if you want to get somebody that can film a fight scene, get Gareth Evans. Just finished watching Batman Begins with my 11. He loved it. Joe, happy holidays. Begins, I think, is, story-wise, that's the best Batman movie. Pryor was in it. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I haven't seen that movie in so long. I don't know if I'd enjoy it as much revisiting it now. But then again, I don't know. I haven't watched it in so long. But yeah, if you never saw the Watchmen HBO show, I mean, what Damon Lindelof really did was he just took his love for the original and built something upon it that it doesn't matter if we think Alan Moore approves or not. Alan Moore wouldn't approve of anything. But what I think he did is he took the best parts of the Watchmen and crafted something completely like faithful to everything that Alan Moore built. I did not. No, I did not. So I don't know. I mean, that's something I'd have to plan in advance with Sean because he knows all the tattoo guys. I wouldn't do a walk-in in Japan. I would go to somebody that Sean knows because, how am I going to explain to somebody what I want? I don't speak Japanese. Happy holidays, Ooch. I'll talk to you soon, man. He's dipping out. He's afraid to stay just in case we talk about other Spider-Man movies now. Also in my top, I think a conversation for the top comic book movie that would be one of the best stories is Spider-Verse 2. Across the Spider-Verse. I absolutely think that movie is in conversation. One of the best animated movies of all time, full stop. And definitely one of the best comic book movies and definitely top 3 Spider-Man stories. Probably not. I would just, like I said, I would just do it through Sean because Sean knows, he always knows tattoo artists that are going to be in Japan, but he also has people there. You might be Tyler. I mean, I don't think I ever finished that movie. I think I watched about an hour of it and I was like, yeah, I'm good. Like I have no memory of how that movie ends, if that movie ends. Oh, that it's silver. It's a silver sticker. That's the Garo King Terry Anniversary magazine that came out when there was an exhibition. There's two versions of it. One has a gold shit sticker and the other one has a silver one. It's just because of the lights. It looks blue. They'll actually be selling those at the next sale. I have 4 of them. Yes, the animation. Yes, I all of that, all of that. Plus, you don't want a Japanese tattoo that says something shitty. Well, yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't trust somebody to write, Dave Engers in, Japanese across my chest. Not that I'm gonna be. Yeah, that's. Although, hey, we're gonna be getting lanterns in a couple months, and I mean, what's his name? Kyle, not Kyle Rayner. What's the actor's name? Kyle Chandler. And the other dude, I don't know the other dude's name, the guy with the eyes, those beautiful eyes. Um, Pierre something? Um, I think that's going to be great. But I do not have anything invested in Green Lantern as a character. I've read maybe like 15 or 20 Green Lantern books in my life, and 6 of those I wish to stricken from my memory because it was Blackest Night, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on with this? I tried to read it without knowing. I'm like, yeah, this is why I don't do continuity stuff. But I've read the Parallax, like when he goes crazy and murders everybody, and where they bring Kyle Rayner in, and then I've read some of the classic Neil Adams, Denny O'Neil stuff. Captain Marvel's basically the same plot as Green Lantern. Yeah, I knew like when I saw Captain Marvel. Yeah, but you know what's cool? I'd rather watch Brie. I don't know, like I'd rather watch Brie Larson than not. Sergio, I barely got a chance to flip through it because I got it yesterday, but yeah, I looked at line time a little bit and then I flipped through it just briefly, and it's very comprehensive. And actually would love to do a flip through with Dan on the channel, but I know he's so busy. I've read 12 trade paperback and Superman All-Star. 112 might be the best Man of Steel storyline. All-Star Superman's fantastic. I'm only 29, catching up with comics. Any suggestions? I mean, Chris, it depends what you're going for. If like I can make suggestions based on what are you talking about? Marvel, DC, are we talking indie? I mean, I can tell you I can tell you like the books that really changed, comic books that really changed the way I looked at comics, read comics, and what I loved about comics was, Watchmen, Sin City, it was Year One, it was Dark Knight, it was Sandman. I mean, despite the shit human that he's turned out to be, I think Sandman's still one of, if not the greatest run of a book ever. There's other stuff, like I started getting into Brian K. Vaughan probably around the time that Pride of Baghdad came out. And so, I love Ex Machina. And the thing I love about Ex Machina is I've read it twice. And the ending's still very conflicted in me. And I think it's a great sign of fantastic art / storytelling is when you're conflicted about how the end or how the thing turned out. Fables, I think Fables doesn't get talked about enough. I think Fables is fantastic. It hits all of the things that you kind of want from a comic. But superhero stuff, I could say just other stuff. Yeah, Tom, I think that's going to be fun. My daughter just walked in and asked me why I was watching Santa. Ho, ho, ho. Because you've been a good boy and she's been a good girl. Ha, 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 ha. Santa's broken. Line Time, yeah. Actually, I got 2 copies of Line Time. I picked up Adventures of Superman 464, Lobo slinging Superman around Cape for the first fight. I think I remember that book. I feel like that's a prime 90s book. How close do you think is Gunn to solidifying himself as a GOAT? I mean, he's a great director to begin with and a great visionary, like storyteller. Like, guy's got a vision and he executes it. I don't think anybody's gonna unseat him unless, you know, I mean, Nolan's up there, but I'd love to see Sam Raimi do some more comic book movies. I miss Sam Raimi. I grew up loving Evil Dead, Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness. I love Drag Me to Hell. Let him do more. Warren Elson's Planetary is great. I also love Transmetropolitan. And Transmet, it feels like even more important, pertinent these days. Happy holidays, Todd. Why the Last Man was my first introduction to Bond. Yeah, that was pretty quick. I think I read Pride and then I started reading Why, and I didn't read Ex Machina, I think, until after I was done with Why. Why is fantastic. Also, another ending, like, he knows how to definitely rip at you at an end of a story. Hey, it's midnight here in Uruguay. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Had an interesting convo with the wife about what's considered manga. If it's made in the US, it's not manga. Yeah. Manga is Japanese comics. I mean, you can have stuff that's manga-esque, but manga is generally considered, yeah, Japanese comics. 24-hour marathon of Christmas stories started tonight. Sorry to hear that. I've watched that movie one too many times. Sam Raimi was so nice when I met him. He got on me for not seeing Evil Dead, though. Well, Tyler, you deserve it. Yeah, I mean, it's the format is manga, but I think honestly, manga is just, I think by definition it's Japanese comics. But you can do something in the style of manga. I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't consider it. Well, the reason why you wouldn't refer to a single issue of comics here as manga is because it's like, it's 32 pages or it's 23 pages. It's barely a story. Whereas you buy you buy any manga in Japan, buy any Japanese comic manga, it's going to be somewhat of a full story. It'll be part of a whole, but it'll be a full story. I don't know. What's my favorite Christmas movie? Well, I'm not going to get into the debate because it is a Christmas movie. These two things are Christmas movies, but it's Gremlins and Die Hard. And I was watching Gremlins and Die Hard on Christmas like 15, 20 years ago. I actually think I had a Christmas party for my friends and we watched Die Hard. And I don't get into, like, that's an internet thing that exists just to get clicks. The whole, is Die Hard a Christmas movie? Motherfucker, the entirety of the first 5 minutes talks about Christmas parties, Christmas holidays, and I'm not calling you motherfucker, Sergio. Just got Batman Year One and V for Vendetta. Nice. Well, Year One's fantastic, and V is that's Mount Rushmore. It's hard to pick a favorite for me for Alan Moore because I do love Watchmen, but I think V gets the edge for me. You're beautiful, Marco. Die Hard 1 and 2 is best Christmas movie. Oh yeah, that's right, 2. Although 2 is good, it doesn't compare to the first one, but the order of how good the movies are is 1, 3, 2, and there's no other Die Hard movies. I need your expertise. I have a new mustache, and I probably got a sinus infection. How do you keep the snot out of the stash? Micah, that is not something that is possible. It's just going to be there. You just have to grin and bear it and get better soon. Drink as much vitamin C as you can, and tea, hot tea. Micah, do not get on the goddamn subway, no matter where you are. I only had one sinus infection in my life. I used to work in Manhattan. I lived in Queens. And I had a sinus infection for the first time in my life, but I didn't realize it until I went on the subway and my head almost popped. It was almost like a scanner's moment. I've never been in that much pain in here, even multiple concussions. That sinus infection in the subway was the worst I've ever felt. Elf's a great Christmas movie. Elf's a great movie. Exactly. And you know, that whole thing that popped up this week, Macaulay Culkin was trying to say that Die Hard's not a Christmas movie. He's like, that movie could still apply if it was St. Patrick's Day. And I thought to myself, I'm like, who flies across the country for St. Patrick's Day? Nobody. It only works because it's Christmas. It's the only holiday that was an estranged husband and wife, husband will fly across the country to see his wife and kids. Yeah, exactly. Lethal Weapon is a better Christmas movie. Oh, shut up, Josh. No, it isn't. No, it's not. Lethal Weapon's good. It is not better than Die Hard. You're just saying that because you're a contrarian. And I know you personally. Supposedly, but I don't want it to be made. There are only 2 Gremlins movies. Drink a lot of swoon. 0 grams of sugar. As a beard man, always keep a napkin on you to clean off. And that's also a great piece of advice by Marco. My Book for Money came out the same year as Scott Pilgrim. I think they were making all the OGNs the same size as Tokyo Pop Book. Mm. Wait, I'm drinking swoon. If by swoon you mean Coke Zero. Scrooge is a great movie. That's a classic. Bill Murray classic. Buster Poindexter classic. Rob McCallum's in the house. I watch while I wrap presents with my headphone on while everyone else shouts at each other. If they keep shouting, just tell them they get nothing. No haggis. They only get bricks of ice. Amato, what's going on, man? 1966, the Yellow Grinch movie before they changed him green. I've never seen it. Fine, Batman Returns is the best Christmas movie. Batman Returns is a great Christmas movie. But Batman Returns is not, no, it's not better than Die Hard. Nope. And it's not better than Gremlins. Dave looks like he and Jim had an awesome time in Japan. Yes, we both did. And Dave Crossland. And Sean had a great time while we were there for the most part. Speaking of Sean, let's talk about this real quick. Oh, please, friends, right here. You see this? This is, just hit the like button right here. Just hit the like button right here. It's down there. Hit the like button. While you're hitting the like button, let me tell you about next week. Sean, aka Japan Book Hunter, is going to be on Direct Edition. We have a great 1-hour interview conversation that really goes by in like 15 minutes. So if you're not subscribed to Direct Edition, come on. Almost at 1,500 subscribers. But also, I just want to make, hit the like button. It's down there. But Santa won't come if you don't hit the like button. And even if you don't want Santa to come, if you don't hit the like button, at least 3 children will get kidnapped by Santa Claus tonight. And if you don't care about children, then it's puppies. Shane Black always sets his movie around Christmas time. That is true. Was Iron Man 3 during Christmas? Christmas haggis. Ah. I know you used to live in Astoria. I live in Maspeth, a few minutes from there. Do you ever plan on visiting Queens again? I mean, the next time I'm back in New York, I don't know anybody that still lives in Queens. All, like, my good friend that was living in Astoria when I was, he moved to Seattle, and that's really it. I mean, there's a restaurant in Astoria called Sanford's. Not owned by Sanford Green, but it's just like general restaurant, like it's like a diner, but they make this chicken club sandwich. It's like one of the best sandwiches I've ever made. So next time I'm around, I might just go to get that sandwich in Astoria. There you go. Poor Santa only comes once a year. Yeah, he saves it all. Why do you think it snows for a lot of people for Christmas? It gets, it's up here, and then by the time it's frozen. Fresh coal for everybody. Actually, if I was Santa Claus, and I am actually, I don't leave coal for bad people. I leave dead bubonic plague rats. So, everybody in the White House, we know what they're getting for Christmas. That's a perfect way to describe most conversations with Sean. You just start talking books, and it's like 2 hours. Yeah. And I asked like some pretty, poignant questions. We talked about life in Japan too, even a little bit. So yeah, there's some good stuff in there. And I'd love to probably do something with him every month, but we're both kind of busy doing what we're doing. So You know, I'm not touching the like button. Santa came on it. You know what, Rob? You better watch out. You better not cry. You better hit the like button. I'm telling you why, because Santa Claus is coming in your house. Sean's books came in like 25 seconds. Yeah, it's wild how quickly DHL gets from Japan to the States. I don't remember. Oh yeah, that's right, because the kid and the snow. There you go. Is New York really the greatest city in the world? I'm Canadian. Just asking Dave, what do you miss from that city? I miss the accessibility to like everything that's gonna happen in music and movies and like all the stuff that happens. It's always there first. Like movies that'll come out in limited release, they're always going to be at New York. Like had I still been living in New York when the Frank Miller documentary came out and it screened at the Angelica, I would have gone, but it didn't screen in Seattle. So I kind of miss that. Music, it's really what I miss the most because I used to go to anywhere between like 2 to 4 shows generally a week when I could, and so I would like if somebody was playing at Bowery Ballroom or somebody was playing at Irving Plaza or Hammerstein, like I would leave work and walk to the venue. Like I miss that. I don't really miss as much the food because these days, for the most part, like because of the internet and people being able to communicate and like share the ways that they make stuff. Like you can get great pizza in many places in the world now. It's not just New York. Even bagels are getting better around the country. So, but it's the accessibility to certain things. Uh, Probably the Kaba 2 and the Kaba 2 is here and the Domu fanzine here and the Akira Famicom cartridge. There's a couple Godzilla things I really like, but for me, it's hunting the Atomo stuff, especially because most of it's not here, is a lot of fun to get that stuff. Yeah, it was a basic revenge storyline, but it was nice to see Capullo doing that very violent Wolverine. I enjoyed it. Yeah, Armando, I'm going to OAX. Yeah, I have to book my flight. I have to get my flight, but I got my room and I have press pass this year, so that's really nice. That's in February. Looking forward to that. Also looking forward to hanging with the Ink Pulp crew. They'll all be there. I only have one commission right now. I got a Way Shack, but I think I'm gonna have Jim do something. I haven't messaged him yet, but I think I had an idea today of what I want to do. Here we are on Christmas night with Dave having a shared experience. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you. Happy Hanukkah. Happy holidays, Amato. No, I usually I like doing this, and it just happened to be that Christmas falls on a Wednesday. And so let me get to next week. I am going to do a New Year's Eve stream. There's going to be a special guest, at least one special guest. I talked to him today. I got to confirm with him. But you know him as Chris. Comic Tropes Pierce. Yeah, Chris will be my co-host next week. I don't know what we're gonna do, but I may reach out to a couple other friends that we have mutually and maybe, I don't look. Some of you, you're probably excited for New Year's Eve. Some of you might be younger. I'm 46. I haven't given a shit about New Year's Eve in about 15 years. Especially because I don't drink anymore. What's up, brother? Mr. Collector's in the house. I will be, oh, awesome. That's right, because you're in Florida. Yeah, Amato, definitely interested. I'm interested, excited. I'm interested to meet you. It should be an interesting experience. No, I'm excited to meet you. I don't know why I said interesting. Interested. I discovered Domu through kayfabe. Absolutely love it. I also think Akira is the greatest comic of all time. Micah, I didn't know Domu, until kayfabe. Like I knew Akira, but it's because like it's not an easy book to find, even the Dark Horse, those mini books. So I never saw it until kayfabe. I think Akira is up there in the conversation for the greatest comic of all time. I mean, it's definitely unparalleled. Like you can't compare anything to Akira. Akira is the thing that you try to compare. You try to say, oh, it's like Akira if Akira was this, but nothing really compares to it. Looking forward to meet. Yes, yeah, and I know you helped them with the LCS guy that they had on, because that's your LCS guy. So yeah, it'll be fun to see those guys. I haven't really met Eric, and obviously I haven't met Mateo, but we spent an hour and 45 minutes talking, and you can watch that on Direct Edition. Sweet. Oh, sweet. Awesome. You got to introduce yourself. Remember, you know what I look like. I don't know what you look like. I always like to tell people that. Well, Sixth Sense, Sixth Sense did give you mind fuck the first time. Oh yeah, I remember I saw it with my brother, whatever year that was, 90, 97, 98, 99, and neither of us had any fucking clue. Any clue whatsoever. A fellow beardsman. Well, that's a lot of us in the comic space. I sold off my Domu copies at the height of 2020. Yeah, it's still a tough book to find, and it's not cheap. Yes, Chris is a very nice guy. Chris is a very smart guy. Chris is upper echelon of the comic book YouTube world. I think he won't say it, but he set the standard for a lot of people that have come after him. And that's his analysis, essay-like episodes are some of the most it's some of the best wealth of knowledge of if you want to learn about a comic, or you want to learn more about a comic creator or the story that they told, Chris is the guy. How does Akira from the books compare to the animated film? Oh, it's wildly different, because the film is this. The books, story-wise, is this. The film is amazing and iconic, and the base that everybody needs to jump off of if they want to make a great animated movie. They have to look at Akira and be like, okay, what can I do that's amazing like this? Yeah, Akira is everything, man. The book is way more in depth than yes. I mean, it makes a ton of sense to me. I mean, look at what America did in World War II. Not that the Japanese were innocent, but the difference between, dropping 2 atomic bombs, and hopefully we never have to see anything like that again. Dave, I've never played D&D. I don't know if I was really ever that interested in tabletop role playing. I mean, I tried doing it when I was a kid, and usually just delved into insanity and ridiculousness. Nobody should ever put me in charge of making up a story. Let's just say that. Actually, more anti-imperialist. Yeah. Well, yeah, it is very anti-imperialist, especially that last, 3 books. But, comics in general reflect a lot of what has gone on in the world, or what is currently going on in the world, or, like Mouse obviously is something of a tentpole of, that Palestine by Joe Sacco, which I have never read, but I would like to. What's Persepolis? I've never, some of that stuff I've never read. I read Persepolis, which I really loved. And then, leading all the way up to current day with DWJ's Absolute Batman Annual. Just need that Akira collection of Tetsuo punching Uncle Sam in the face. You got to get that box set. That box set's dope. I picked it up about 1.5 years ago. It's huge, but it's great. I don't know. I don't think it's, I mean, I guess, you know, teach their own, right, Jim? I could look at his pages all day. I mean, it's absolutely batshit crazy, those last bunch of books. But I like Sean's outlook on it. Like he reads it every year. Usually during the summer, he rereads Akira. I think it's a good one that I'll probably reread at some point this year. They're coming out with a second printing, but yeah, that first print vanished quick. I mean, I knew it was gonna be. I knew it was gonna be what it was. I think I ended up just buying 2 copies, but I'm gonna keep them and get them signed. I don't know. I can probably get the second print when it comes out, which has a new cover, so there's a reason to pick it up. If you know, don't be scared. Don't be scared. Don't be scared of a second print. I mean, I never used to be a person that would buy a second print, but then these days they're doing some really cool covers. I mean, look here, we've got the reprint this year coming of Marvel Team Up 14 or 15, whatever number it is, the Invincible Spider-Man that Kirkman wrote. A murderer's row of the best Spider-Man artists are doing covers, including Todd McFarlane, Eric Larson, Mark Bagley, Alex Saviuk, and then Otley's doing a new cover. I mean, I'm actually going to buy all the covers. And for me, buying them, I mean, the McFarlane goes in the collection, the PC, and so does the Larson. But I also may just buy them to get signed. Skinbreaker captured my eye. Oh, yeah. The new issue came out today. I'll say it's... The thing is they what Kirkman did with Finch and what Finch is doing and did, he gave him enough room to breathe and just make beautiful pages. Because like the story in this issue, and I won't spoil it, but it's quick. It's a quick read, but when you read it, you go back and look at the art, that's really where the satisfaction comes in. It's just seeing all of what David is putting in the background and the environments and all that. It's beautiful. Absolute Batman 1, I think, is on the 10th or 11th reprint. Yeah. Simone Bianchi going to have a hardcover book that you can have a sketch done for around 400. That's not bad. His sketches are really nice. His prelims look like finished covers. What's your most recent guilty pleasure comic purchase? Ooh. I don't really buy too much on a guilty pleasure comic. I guess, Mike, it's going to be Youngblood 1. I didn't buy the second issue. I have no interest in the second issue. But yeah, it was the first that new Youngblood relaunch. Human Target Deluxe Edition. Did that come out recently? Are you reading that, Amato? I still haven't read that. I have the whole thing, though. That's a sign of a great team when the writer gets out of the way and the artist just goes nuts. Exactly. And, you know, if you didn't, if you didn't watch my interview with Kirkman and Finch, please go watch that on Direct Edition. Am I doomed that I still have never walked into a comic book shop at use eBay to buy my comics? I live in Ottawa, not many close. I'm not going to judge you, Chris, but I'll say get your ass into a comic shop. Just do it, because here's the thing. I do not shame anybody for buying their comics online. Hell, this guy sells comics online. But I will say this. Going into a comic shop will open you up to things that you don't know exist. And that will open your world up to finding something that you probably don't know you love until you pick it up. So just to get an idea of what's out there, you know, because you won't, I mean, you can go into 3 comic shops and still may not even see a shop that carries a certain book, but the looking will open your world up. Okay, it just came out. That's an easy one, Sergio. It's Off He Goes. It's my favorite song of all time, period. Full stop. What about you? Christopher, I mean, look, you know, Jim, like he said, I mean, I don't know Ottawa that well. I've only been there once to see Pearl Jam. but there are comic deserts, and some people don't have a shop within a 30-mile radius. Some of us, like, are in the Northwest, we're spoiled, or San Francisco or Chicago or Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's got what, 28 stores in like a 40-mile circular radius of the city or something. It's crazy. Portland's got 16 in the city limits. I mean, I have not read enough Tom King. I read Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, and I thought that Bilquis Evely, her art really sold that. It's amazing. I think it could have been 4 issues. But I don't have enough Tom King in me to get a good gauge if I love him or like him or whatever, but I do want to read Human Target. I'm not a local celebrity, but it's funny. Everyone, I like to meet Chris there, Chris Pierce. And when we're there together, people are like, wait, it's everybody in YouTube lives over here? Chris is far bigger of a celebrity. But yeah, I mean, I'm in my LCS every week, and I hang out there for a couple hours. So, people know me, which is cool. I love talking to people at comic shops. I love talking about comic shops. Stargazer Comics, Tacoma, 6th Ave. All right, enjoy your drink and movie, Tyler, my Pope. Hopefully you don't have New Year's Eve plans, because you better be back here. Otherwise, you're fired. Just kidding. Well, I lived in Seattle, 95, 2005. Yeah, Jim. Even in the 11 years I've been out here, I've watched a lot of them close. Kind of sucks. It really sucks. It doesn't kind of suck. Merry X-Men, Tyler. I'm a celebrity. Get me out of here. No, I'm not. I live in Uruguay. I don't have a comic shop within 300 kilometers. That's right. That's a comic desert. I mean, that's unfortunately a lot of countries, right? Yeah, I've always been fortunate enough to live in places that have a lot of comic stores. Long Island in the 90s, the 80s and 90s. Spit and you'd hit a comic store. When we used to go down to visit my grandma in Florida in Boca in the 80s and 90s, there was card stores and comic stores everywhere. You couldn't go any strip mall, shopping center had one or both. Kind of like Telling a Windhorn, The Art is Phenomenal, which is Bilquis, right? I was getting butthurt over the $5 price tag and dropped the series. I'm going to probably get, I think they're doing like a hardcover. I read the first issue and I liked it. I was like, oh, I'll just get it when it comes out and trade or hardcover. So, Dave, your channel was my top watched YouTube. Oh, that's amazing. Well, thank you so much, Chris. You know what's so weird about that? I got the Spotify Wrapped from the creator end, because that's where I host the podcast outside of YouTube, which I'm looking to switch because I don't really like Spotify, but it's free, and free is usually better. But I don't have access to my YouTube 2025 wrap. It won't give it to me. It's like, is it because I'm a creator? It won't give me my watch as a watcher? It's very strange. Oh, you have the hardcover? I know they're doing like a signed limited hardcover. I might actually get that. I feel like for collectability reasons, having a signed limited hardcover, if I want to sell it in 5 years, like if I read it a bunch of times or whatever, like you won't ever lose money on that. The Ramones are from Long Island, that's right. I don't. I never really had a New York accent. Like, I know some people can hear it in certain words like water or coffee or just certain things, but no, I never really had one. My brother doesn't. My mom and dad do, though, because they grew up in Queens and Brooklyn, respectively. But like my buddy Will, who has lived out in LA for 10 years now or whatever, he's from Queens proper, and he has never lost his New York accent. So, but I don't know. I don't hear it. It's also because I've spent a long time of my life traveling professionally, for work. So maybe that's why I don't really exhibit the New York accent. When I get angry, yeah, you can hear it. I love Do the Evolution. Favorite song is Do You Realize by the Flaming Lips. That's a great song, which the Flaming Lips probably kind of done. That whole thing with Stephen Drozd leaving, and now Wayne Coyne's like, oh, it's all a lie, that all the things he said. Those guys have done way too many drugs to have a clear head about anything. Uh, but that is a great song. Do You Realize? From Yoshimi Battles the Pink Robots, right? That's the album it's on. Do the Evolution's great song, and obviously it's even better video because it's directed by the Todd father. Hey, bud. Hey, bud. Hey, I'm fucking walking here. Give me a bagel and a coffee and a cannoli and a pizza. Hey, Tommy. Hey, Jimmy. Hey, I'll see you later. I gotta go down and take the subway. Hey. Do you know the song Hold On, I'm Coming by Sam and Dave? No, I don't. I don't. I mean, I probably do. I just don't know the title. No, don't do that, Jim, because what'll happen is I'll just kick you off the channel if I get that angry. Sashimi, yes, Sashimi Battles the Pink Robots. I ate a lot of that. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, that's not Hang On Sloopy, right? God, no, that's a different song. But yeah, so I getting back to like, I think somebody had asked me guilty pleasure comic. I don't know if I really have. I try not to waste my money on stuff that I don't know. I don't think it's a waste of money or guilty pleasure though, so. Just dipping in to say hi, Mark. Yeah, celebrating some heathen holiday stuff with my kids and family. Well, I appreciate you saying hi, and I hope you have a happy, warm holiday with you and yours. I have a beautiful French black and white edition of Helena. Ooh, is that a French? Oh yeah, you said it's French. Yeah, I gotta get. So there are a couple books. I've talked to a couple people, I think, that maybe even in here that I want to get that are not sold in the United States. I really want to get that Peach Momoko Italian Nightmare Covers book that Panini produced. I might have to bug Matteo Scalera to buy one for me. And then I'd love to get Marco, thanks to Marco. He actually just sent me a copy, oversized Duo Powerbomb hardcover. I think it was a Spanish edition. I think they did a black and white one there too. But I'd love to get a couple of those black and white editions of the things that haven't gotten released here because the US sucks, okay? And also, they just released a Brazilian hardcover version of Ryu, the Strongest Man on the Planet. I got to get one of those. Jim, I got your card today. Thank you so much. And thank you. Yes, I'm back. And I hope Virginia's treating you well. I think that's where you said you were. And I hope you have a lovely holiday. And we're going to talk in the new year. And I want to see you. And always good to see you. Thanks for popping in. Oh yeah, we met. I met Mike in Portland at Excalibur last year for Rose City. Yeah, it was last year. Yeah, that's the way. Yeah, I definitely need one of those, Dan. So if anybody has a connection to getting those that can get them here relatively cheaply, or is going to be in the States, I would happily buy 2 copies. I'll get one for Dan, and or 3, and reimburse you plus hook you up. I will say this, unfortunately, I think it's I have to put the kibosh on shipping stuff out of the States internationally. I owe 2 people 2 giveaways, and I looked at shipping 1 comic outside of this country to Canada, and it's $26. I'm sorry, but I cannot live my life in a permanent deficit when it comes to giveaways. It's not fair to me. So I think unless somebody wants to pay full price, like if you're buying something from me and you want it shipped out of the US, just know it's expensive now. And we know who to blame for that. There's only one person and his stupid fucking ideas and tariffs. Anyway, What's the Casa with Mario? So that's a Casa Brutus. That's a special issue of Brutus magazine to celebrate the 30th anniversary of Mario, Super Mario Brothers. That meeting you had with Peach reminded me about 2 years ago. There was a kerfuffle. Yeah, yes, and that is not lost on them. And they, there's a reason why she does not do American conventions anymore. I don't know if she will be doing them in the future, but I know that's one of the reasons why they are stayed away for the last 2 years. I mean, Yo doesn't run security because they don't need it anywhere else because people don't act like that anywhere else. They act like that in this dumb fucking country. Milan, they had a great time, and then Tokyo Comic Con, they had a great time, and there was none of that. It is a very strictly American behavioral problem. I have a bunch of European black and white editions. They are so nice. Yeah, I have seen and gotten jealous of seeing people with those. They're amazing. That's another thing. Like, it's a conversation that I had with Sean. It's a conversation that I had with Yo and Peach and Jim and everybody over the course of the last Japan trip plus other, is that like the US is just like the Marvel and DC really don't understand what people want to buy. You produce these black and white hardcovers and these artist editions, people will buy them. Look at the crowdfunding for Daniel Warren Johnson's Extremity Kickstarter was insane. The sales numbers for the Mazzucchelli Year One Artist Edition was insane. Like, people are hungry for different format books, and Marvel and DC are just sitting there with their finger up their ass and one in their nose, like, whoa, Absolute Batman's selling. We'll push the different formats. Give people, if they had done that Absolute Batman 1 work in progress edition on a larger scale, and like stores actually knew it was coming out, and they marketed it right, like they could have sold 45 times the amount of copies. Most people didn't even know it existed. By the way, hold on, let me just finish this rant on the black and white edition stuff. I did a flip through of that Absolute Batman Work in Progress edition on the Patreon. You can, I think I put the link in the description below. It's $5 a month, help support the channel. You get bonus videos from this channel, bonus videos from Direct Edition, and you get to vote on a flip through video. I have been hard at work at coming up with the next stuff that's coming out in January. Plus, January will be the next exclusive sale drop. $5 a month, Patreon. Thank you. And don't forget to hit the like button. If the artwork in comic is the best, doesn't take away from the story. Example, Long Halloween is a little weird. I won't get mad. I know there's people that don't love Tim Sale's art. I love it. But that story's amazing. So it is worth reading. I think it's top tier Batman story. He's got a creator owned science fiction. I think it's going to be 10. No, he said it's going to be longer than that. I think he said it's 12 or more issues. And he's been working on it for like on and off for years, but he's now working on it full time. He told everybody, he told me that he thinks this will be what, like, the work that he is known for in years to come. Well, I've been in Japan, so I wasn't buying anything right before I went. I bought a couple small collections in the fall, but usually the fall and winter is quiet. Nobody's selling stuff. People aren't clearing out their stuff. They're in for the winter. So yeah, the collections usually don't show up in the winter. So, but I just went to Japan and I brought back 200 plus pounds of books. Yeah, it was the Spawn release. I think it was I don't know, it was just fucking idiots. All signings should be limited to 5 books per person. Get your book signed and then get back in line. Absolutely foolish behavior. I dig that. I dig that. Peter Smith did a signing at my work and he was super nice. Sorry, Tyler, I don't know who that is. By the way, you'd make a great D&D player if I lived in Seattle. I would, look, if there was somebody that was like, hey, we're doing a D&D campaign for beginners, I would be interested in it. That Mazzucchelli book was so large. I mean, I keep most of my artist editions are in a closet right behind the computer here. And then the ones that are a little bit smaller, I have a bookshelf that actually those will sit on. The Eric Larson Savage Dragon artist edition is probably my favorite one because you truly get to see how much ink Larson was slinging back then in those first 3 issues. Yeah, Mazzucchelli stuff is so inspiring. Josh, Sean, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year, all that goodness. Hope you awesome month is continuing now that you're back. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to be home. I missed Japan, but I had such a fulfilling trip, like to the core of my soul. So, you know, I couldn't ask for more than that. I don't know because Felix hasn't announced who's going OAX from his stable. Yeah, and right with garage sales, you won't get a garage sale until, yeah, I mean, earliest is going to be May, but tend to start in early June or late May, you know, Memorial Day. But collections, I'm actually going to start advertising probably maybe on Facebook for collections. My buddy Chris in Cheddar does that. And I think it's just a good way to get a couple things coming in. But I don't really, unless it's like a single owner collection, I don't really have an interest in buying a large collection right now, or maybe even again. They are great when they are single owner because that means generally you're just getting better stuff. If you're buying a collection from somebody that's collected and bought from this person and that person, or if you're buying sloppy seconds collection, it's usually like but I mean, I can afford to be picky, luckily. Where do you stand on Mark Spears? I am not a fan. That's where I stand. I'm not a fan. Does it interest me? No, I'm not a fan. That's all. With some of your collection buys, like, yeah, I mean, that's the other thing, Jim, is like I'm patient, but I know how to spot a decent collection. And I also know what sells. So that helps. And luckily, I try not to buy things that I don't like. Like if a collection's loaded with a bunch of slabs, I'm not going to buy it because I don't like it. But if a collection's loaded with image stuff from the early 2000s and you know that era, even that I'll buy because I can talk about those books, or you know the stuff that I can talk about is what I want to buy anyway. Any concerns about the comic market taking them? No, because I think comics are strong right now. It's the economy that's the worry. It's not the comics. It's not the collectability. It's not the readership. I think right now more people are reading comics than they were even a year ago, or even maybe, you know, like in that post-pandemic era. I think more people are reading comics. I think the absolute line is turn people back to opening up the pages of books. You know, that kind of thing. Michael. Yeah, happy holidays and happy new year to you too, my friend. I think, yeah, I just think that comic readership's up. I'm seeing more people, like, for example, I now being every week, you know, Wednesday Warrior, you know, picking up my books at Stargazer, you know, I see the same faces, but I see a lot of people come into the stores on Wednesday and pick stuff up. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Comics are up, disposable income is down. So, I don't know anymore. I mean, at one point, it was that Amazing Spider-Man 14. I got a 9.2 on it because you have to grade a book like that when it's that high grade. And then the Tech 140, the first Riddler, but I sold that too. I usually try and grade one of my big raw books every year to give, like, you know, then sell it and like use that as seed money for the next big collection or whatever I'm buying. But I put that back into the business. I have a couple of books being worked on right now that are kind of high end, but I have an Amazing Spider-Man 50 that I think when that gets graded will be a very, very high grade. I don't know because I can't say what it's worth until, but that would probably be my most expensive comic, looking at the condition of it. I also have 2 copies of Amazing Spider-Man 5. 5? No, whatever the first Mysterio is. 9? The investors have gotten rid of their liquidity, and I'm seeing Grail prices come back down to earth. Yeah, I mean, look, and I know where I've been putting my money collecting wise, and it's been with art. So I think my need or desire to keep expensive comics or collect anything expensive comic wise is going to be in the art. Be more concerned that our country is taking a dump than the value of your comics. Well, there's that, Dan. Like I said, the economy, but everything tied to that is America that I'm talking about. Superman, Batman, bring back Supergirl, Michael Turner, Jeff Loeb storyline. I never read it. Art's great, but I never read it. Yeah, I know, Micah, but the thing is, and I think you understand this, I don't think you're, an irrational person. As a seller, right? As a seller, I can't leave thousands and thousands of dollars on the table. And because the people that want to buy big books, they want to buy them slabbed for their false sense of security, not knowing how to look at a book and being like, yeah, this is a near mint book. I do. But the difference between, I'll take that Amazing Spider-Man 14, first Green Goblin. I looked at that, and there's the video on the channel where I said, I think this is going to be a 9.2. And it was 9.2. And because I have nothing to hide, I sold that book for $16,500. There is no way I could have sold it for $16,500 raw. And that helped propel my business and helped me start some other endeavors in this. So yeah, there are some books that I bought from Jim Healy, who was in the chat when I got his collection, 2.5, 3 years ago. And they're graded because he had them graded, and they're books that I wanted. So do I grade books to keep them anymore? No, I just grade the books that I'm going to sell that need to be graded, because that's just the difference. It's like, yeah, this book's $200 raw, but in a 9.4 or whatever, this book's $1,000, and it's $1,000 every time. So, it's just part of the business. You do things that you don't really believe in because it's just part of the business. At least I'm not doing anything that I feel is immoral, like it's just a different, it's a different part of the collecting sphere. I have a copy of the hardcover of the Ultimates 3 that came out in pencils only. I don't know if it's worth anything. I mean, it's just something that probably doesn't exist here. They might have done 1 issue pencils only. Was that Matt Herrera doing the covers on those? Can't remember who did Ultimates 3. Yeah, Turner was a massive talent. I'm glad that Silvestri talked about him and told a funny story. Hard to grade a raw book that's being sold online. I'd have to see it right up front close. Well, and that's the thing, Jim. I mean, I hope, and I think I'm confident in saying that everybody that buys books from me trusts my grading. I've been working with collectibles, collecting them, selling them, etc., all that for most of my life. So I'm really good at spot grading anything. But I agree with you. Of a high value book raw, you'd have to see it in person. What's the threshold? I mean, Mike, it's got to be, first off, if it's modern, I'm most likely never going to grade it unless it's something that's signed that could get a yellow black label, authenticated, blah, blah, blah. But typically I'm only going to grade something that, like, if it's a $200 raw book and it sells for $1,200 in a 9.8, and I'm like, oh, this is a 9.8, then I'm going to do it. It's a case-by-case basis. But I've sold plenty of stuff raw from the Golden Age and Silver Age on this channel that I want the buyer to be the winner on it. Like, there are books that I've sold for a couple of $100, and I'm like, look, if you're grading this, you're going to double your money. It's going to be worth more. It's going to be a higher grade, blah, blah, blah. It's just a case by case basis. Like, for example, if I had a New Mutants 98, first Deadpool, I was like, oh, this is a 9.8. And if it's a newsstand, but either way, if it's a 9.8, I'm going to get it graded. But if I even think that it's a little bit below a 9.4, 9.6, I'm just going to sell it raw. Let somebody else be the happy end of the deal. I'll make my money and you'll be happy. I mean, I don't frame anything that's published, or I haven't yet. But most of my stuff is, on this wall here. I can try and show, but you're not gonna, no, the cables are. On this wall, I've got a Jim Rugg piece that actually was published in Street Angel. I got a Ryan Otley random thing that I bought from his portfolio years ago. I've got a Godzilla piece that was done by that actor that I met in Tokyo last year. I've got a Matt Ritchie piece, a Dave Correa piece. So I just kind of have stuff that I love. I've had a lot of stuff framed for a while. Like I have a bunch of paintings from Dave Correa that I've had for a decade plus that are all framed. I see a bunch of spine ticks that I could not see with grainy pixel. Yeah, I mean, I understand that. I try not to buy anything online as it is, unless it's from one of my friends that I trust. Oh, yeah, I don't know if it's worth anything. I mean, hardcovers usually aren't, especially Ultimate stuff that's, they printed thousands, whatever. Well, I appreciate that, Jim. I think I've earned a lot of trust from people that have been buying from me or have ever bought from me. Walking Dead #1, if it's raw, getting great. Yeah, well, that's the thing, like an Invincible 1, because these books also, especially those two books in particular, are extremely tough to find and always going to be sought after because, Walking Dead, obviously, for the reason that it turned into a phenomenon on TV and all that, as well as one of the greatest comic series. And then, yeah, Invincible, same thing. Yeah, Josh. I mean, it's dipped so much since, but yeah, that's when you grade if it's a 9.8, especially if it's a newsstand. Yeah, I'm not a fan of his artwork. I'm not. Like, there's nothing about it that appeals to me, Tyler. That's my opinion, and I think it's good for him for making a successful career out of himself, but I have no interest in his artwork. And that's the thing, I don't care about hot books, so I won't buy it. I mean, if I get it in a collection and, whatever, if it's in a dollar box, I'll buy it. Yeah, here, I'll show it off like that. This is something I got from Jim. I own a bunch of Jim stuff. Actually, I think all of it's published. This is it's just beautiful Street Angel ballpoint pen drawing. Because I have a complete story from Jim. I have that Ric Flair, Kerry Von Erich story that he did for the A24 zine. And I have his Walking Dead Pittsburgh Comic-Con exclusive cover. I think I have one or two other pieces. Dan, I finally found a place here that I really like. I just got two pieces done by them. It was expensive, but it wasn't as much as I thought it was going to be. Hey, Ian, thank you, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Happy holidays to you, brother. I don't know, Sergio. Let me see. Here's the thing. So this past year I was supposed to do one. And honestly, it just became, with everything else that I was doing, it became way too overwhelming to try and organize that. And the thing is I realized that if I'm going to do one, I think I can just do it myself. And I think getting so many people involved in it, especially because, I don't know, I don't want to, there was nobody that did anything this year that upset me. So, but in the past, without really saying any names, everybody was asked to do two things, and most people couldn't even do fucking one thing. And the thing is, if you're a guest on my channel, whether it's this one or it's direct edition, and you're not going to promote yourself, I'm done with you. Like I am doing this for you. But if you can do the thing of like, hey, I'm going to be doing this thing, or hey, I was on this podcast this week, or hey, like, why? Are you that much of an egomaniac? So when it comes down to it, yeah, I like the floating frame for that. When it comes down to it, I can do an entire day of sales and interviews and probably not be too exhausted. 2 days. But yeah, if I do one this year, it's going to be a single day. It'll be me selling and then me interviewing. And that's it. It's just, I'm glad that I got to do it for 2 years. It was so much like the reward of being able to raise, I think in 2 years it raised, $3, $4, $5,000 for those two charities. That's super, that's all that matters to me. Cause I mean, that's why I did Dave VentureCon, was to raise money. It wasn't to do 2 days of sales, because I could do that whenever I want, but it was the ability to, and thanks to everybody who donated items and stuff, and thanks to everybody that bought raffle tickets. But it was amazing that we raised so much money in 2 years. I mean, Chris would be a great co-host, or at least have Chris come in to do a segment, like an hour and a half with me or something, to give me a little bit of a break. Hey, Matt, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, my friend. I hope you're well. The She-Hulk original art, yeah, well, it's by Whitman. Yeah, I was really happy buying that, because I don't think I'll ever be able to obtain an original Wizard cover from those like first 20 issues. So to have one that was unpublished and supposed to be for those first 20 issues at least is awesome, and having it beat Bart. I love Bart. Yeah, I appreciate that, Jim, and really proud of the Jeff Darrow interview this season, and having Mateo on was great, and yeah, I'm working on some stuff for this, next season. It's just, this is the worst time of the year to pitch, because everybody's doing holiday stuff and nobody's answering emails. Someday I'll have a podcast and I'll have this guy, hey. Oh yeah, well, I don't know that, but getting to film him with that at OAX was awesome. He's gonna be at OAX again this year, so it'll be nice to see Bart again. Well, so Sergio, I mean, he's on direct edition next week, so that's kind of what that became, is having him on direct edition. We've talked about doing it. It's just the time difference makes it obviously really hard. Like I either, like we have to record at a weird hour. But the other thing is just Sean, Sean doesn't just run his business and hunt books, but he's got a big family. He's got a bunch of kids running around there. And so his time to do that stuff is a little limited when it comes to like longer form things. Oh yeah, I had a great time talking to Jeff. He's awesome. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't really thought about Dave VentureCon 2026 as like putting it into action, but scaling it back, and that might be the way to go. Like it was great to do the live drawing and all that, and the raffle and all that stuff, but it just becomes a lot on top of producing a video every week and a podcast every week, and all that stuff. Speaking of podcasts, probably gonna do another 10 minutes on the stream tonight, but I'd appreciate, look, I know the popular thing on my podcast is the interviews, and the solo episodes don't get the reach, they don't get the engagement. Although this week's episode got engagement in the comments. A lot of you, if you're here in the chat or watching this on the replay, thanks to everybody who dropped on direct edition their favorite books, music, movies, whatever this year. But check that episode out. I'm really just doing what I love. It's not me trying to sell somebody's book or album or movie that I didn't love. So, check check out the new podcast. Don't forget to like buttons on all that stuff and engage with it. Drop your favorite movies or music or whatever in the comments of the video on YouTube or whatever, or Spotify. You don't have to private message me your favorite things. We want everybody to see that. Michael, it would be amazing. It's funny. I've been having a lot of awake time at weird hours because of the jet lag, especially early in the morning. And I was thinking about, like, what would it be like to interview Alan Moore? And what would he talk about? And what would he not want to talk about? Like, I know he doesn't want to talk about, like, his DC work, and I've never really read anything outside of that. I think I read the first couple issues of LXG, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, and I've never read, like, maybe I read some of the Avatar stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I'd love to just hear him talk about storytelling. And what I really would love to hear Alan Moore talk about, if I was going to interview him, it would be like that first 10 years of his career where he was doing, 2000 AD stuff or whatever, and doing, self-published and all that weird, cool, interesting stuff. And like Miracle Man at the same time as V in, can't remember the name of the magazine. I have that first couple issues. But anyway, that's what I really want to talk to Alan Moore about. Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that. I love talking to him. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. I mean, I love, Dan, the experience of going to comic stores with friends is like an unparalleled fun experience. So I enjoyed going with you. I enjoyed going with the crew. Me and Jim and Dave in Japan, I had a blast doing that together. I don't know. That's up to Chris and Jim. It's not up to me. I have voiced my opinion on wanting to be on. That's all I can do. Al Moore, Frank Miller would be, yeah, I mean, Moore would be the most intimidating to me. Miller, not so much. I don't know. I listened to Frank talk. Frank seems Frank seems more like he's actually a comic book fan, and Moore sounds like, obviously he's a fan of the medium and all that, but Moore feels like like a Greek god of literature. Yeah. It is. It's kind of crazy that was happening at the same time. It's nuts, actually. Thanks for the interviews. Oh yeah, Chris. That's what I'm here to do, right? And look, I mean, it's tough for me because I love comics and I always will, and I'll always want to talk to comics creators. But my aspirations of turning the podcast into a pop culture thing, where I can interview musicians and people in the movies and TV and artists, and maybe even artists outside the comic medium, illustrators and stuff like that. It's just a tough nut to crack on that. So my goal this year is to get at least one big name from every industry that I'm looking to tap into. Comics, I have the resume is already there. McFarlane, Silvestri, Matt Fraction, Kirkman, DWJ, Jeff Darrow, like these, within degrees of talking to pretty much everybody I've ever wanted to talk to. So, hey, Jim, appreciate it. Enjoy, and Merry Christmas to you, and Merry New Year. Hey, that's all I can do. I will probably monetize the direct edition channel soon. As much as I don't want to put ads, it'll be even the limited, very small amount of money that might bring in pays for the editing. That's what I'm paying for out of pocket. Everything else that I'm doing, Micah said, never name drop, Dave. You know who told me that? Robert De Niro. Yeah, I would never name drop anybody. Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, Michael Mann, Jamie Foxx, Tom Cruise coming on the podcast. Yeah. No, but yeah, everything that, I mean, my time is worth it, right? Time is worth money. Everybody's time is worth money. Never do anything for free if you can help it, unless you're helping somebody. You can do that for free. You know, if like your grandma's like, Jimmy, can you come over and fix the TV? Don't say, Grandma, give me $20. You just go and help your grandma. But when it comes to the podcast, you know, I am paying to edit it and have the thumbnail done and all that stuff. So, you know, eventually I've got to monetize it just to try and at some point break even, right? Because I don't know how to get a sponsor. I would love a sponsor, like a sponsor of something that I would like to actually sell. I reached out to Swoon, and their sponsorship is sending people free cases of Swoon, but they never sent me anything. So, oh well, I still love them. Anyway, look, I'm starting to feel the exhaustion set in. I'd ask you once again to hit the like button. That would be polite of you. And enjoy your Christmas if you celebrate. If you don't, enjoy your movie watching. Or if you don't watch movies tomorrow, you can always catch up on Direct Edition or West Coast Avengers. BCW maybe. PSA, I mean, I don't want to be one of those people. But I mean, you know, it's money, right? Hey, there we go. Sponsor me, daddy. But I sincerely hope everybody has, I sincerely hope everybody has a great holiday. If you're watching movies tomorrow, then that's what I'll be doing. Probably going to watch one battle after another and finally see it. Excited to. I will be back on New Year's Eve with a live stream hangout. Chris Pierce is going to be here. Who knows? Maybe we'll have other special guests. We'll just hang out and talk. We'll review. We'll talk about what we loved about 2025 and stay on the positive side, because there's so much negativity on the internet that everybody wants to click on. So I'll try to provide a place of positivity with a little snark, you know. But I appreciate you all for being here. Thank you. This has been a great, great night. Cheers to sobriety in a new year. Micah, take care of yourself. Chris, appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Sergio, appreciate you too. Always appreciate you and all the things that you leave the comments and all the positivity, and all of you guys that always love you too, Joshy. I'll see you soon. Let's grab a breakfast where I actually have some cognitive abilities. Yes, there you go. I spent a bunch of it today at the LCS. And the next sale will be in the new year. It'll be Wednesday, probably that first Wednesday of January. And the Patreon exclusive drop will precede the next live sale. Yes, Mike, I saw it right before I left to Japan, and I do want to watch it again. Michael, appreciate you. Enjoy your holiday, and keep Canada cool, my friend. Marco, appreciate you, brother. Have a good one. Merry, and happy. I'll see you all next Wednesday for West Coast Wednesday Chat and Chill New Year edition.